All right. So we're sitting here talking about types of entities that we may or may not have encountered yet. Yeah, one of those. All right. Starting off, I
Okay.
mean, let's talk about normal stuff. We've encountered spirits, obviously, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and as we've already discussed, they're not all demons, and anyone who thinks about that is just foolish.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
so going forward with that, what are some things that y'all have noticed that separates just normal spirits from everybody else? Starting with Mandy.
Well, that question kind of sets me normal spirits from anybody else. That because there are so many different types of spirits, normal is kind of a arbitrary statement. I mean, if you have been in a situation where you see spirits amongst the living, you can sit there, look out, and even if that spirit is able to project themselves to you in what appears to be a tangible fashion, something's not right about not something's not
Mm-hmm.
quite human about that. And it's something just as simple as, why is there somebody sitting at a Starbucks dressed as a 1832 cowboy? I mean, or it can be, as complex. It can be as vague as, okay, I can see through the side of that guy's head. That. But I mean, it for me when I go to particularly when I go to someplace new, I watch and I pick things up, and the first thing I notice is like the residual energies. Because my first goal, and when I get somewhere, is to get comfortable and to make sure that I can separate what's going to come talk to me and what's going to come talk to me and then come back in 5 minutes and do it again. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So the residuals, I mean, they're lovingly called loopers because it's basically like your TiVo got stuck in that time lapse and it's just running that same screen over and over and over again. For the older
Mm-hmm.
generation, it's when your record had a skip in it and the penny wasn't working.
Um, yeah. One thing I want to ask: have you ever encountered a looper that may have had something intelligent connected to it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I've had it connected to the looper, but it has used that looper energy to speak or to communicate with me. And because, that looper runs that same path, that intelligent spirit always knows where it's going to be. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not, it's, this is a good way to tell it's intelligent because it's following something that's basically just the Energizer Bunny on high.
Right.
It's just like the last podcast where I was talking about seeing the Civil War soldiers walking. What really caught my eye, which I mean that caught my eye, period. But the the heavy part was seeing that one soldier that kind of turned his head and looked straight at me. It's like, okay, he recognizes I'm here. It's time to carry on. So yeah, that's what you're talking about. To me, I mean, what I picked up out there is the loopers was the troop walking, and then that one extra energy was just kind of like floating along with them there. And he seen me go by as I went by. He turned and see me looking at them.
Right.
Right. That's kind of where the idea I got from that, and I actually got someone else who told me a story about a child and a woman were coming down the stairs, and they were dressed in Victorian era clothing, and the woman looked like she may have been, like she was residual, but the child just kept looking at the person like they wanted to talk, but they just couldn't.
Yeah,
But she
possibly.
was with the woman. The woman could have been mama, so she had the
That would have been.
intelligence side of it, but she was just kind of going along with the flow with mama. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
could have
see that.
been. It also could have been just maybe that residual energy. The child just didn't have the strength to pull what it needed to actually form what we call conscious communication, talking, pointing, actions, that kind of stuff. It may just have had enough to telepathically connect, and the person that was there just couldn't connect to telepathically.
Um, I actually heard this one yesterday. Have y'all actually encountered a thing called the Guardian?
Guardians are watchers that at least anyone's I've ever seen. Watchers are just spirits that are here that keep themselves here. They have unfinished business, or they're afraid of crossing over, or whatever the case may be. They stay for whatever reason. And as far as I've ever seen, the guardians I've always heard of have been watchers.
Mm-hmm.
I came across a story from.
I can't say personally.
You go ahead.
So I've never experienced a guardian like one that I would say was watching me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been places where somebody has told me go check that out, and I go check out, and I just to me the energy would feel like they were there. Like she said, it was unfinished business. It was like a parent or grandparent that was trying to watch somebody in this home to make sure they were basically on the right track. And it wasn't like they were trying to coach them. It was just there.
Unless, of course, also there's unless we're exchanging guardians for protectors kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
So yes. Yes.
Where I came across the story was from Raleigh, North Carolina. This person was talking about the guardians of the cemetery, saying they were like 10-foot tall entities.
Okay. Yeah, protectors. Yeah.
I've never come across that.
Never come across anything like that. No, but if I ever come
Don't
across a
want
10-foot
to. I mean,
anything, I'm
I'm
gonna.
particularly.
Is that a ghost or is that
Excuse me.
an alien?
Pardon me while I tap your kneecap to get your attention, sir. But can you step to the left? I
Yeah.
can't get through. But I have seen protectors generally around children more so than children, and the remarkably sickly kind of thing are usually where I've seen them. I don't think I've ever encountered someone who is, in essence, healthy and viable with a visible protector.
Okay. Kind of connecting with that.
Mhm.
What is your all's thoughts on elementals?
With me, the experience I've come across with elementals is like something that was generated by somebody. I ain't gonna say conjure because that would be the wrong thing of it. I can't find the word I'm trying to pull out. But it's like there's nothing really there, but somebody has went in there and really coached something to create from something that is actually nothing, and then it becomes something viable you have to deal with. Because I come across one. This was in, I think where I was at. I think it was in Indiana when I come across this one. And it was actually a very possessive energy that was basically generated by a daughter that lived in the house that wanted something to be there for her that she could talk to. She more or less imagined this thing, and she imagined to the point that it became something real to her, and it was actually destroying this family. It was moving furniture. It was talking out loud. But it was nothing no more than an energy that somebody created. And it was, as far as I know, I told them they got to call somebody that had a little bit more background in that to get rid of it, because I had no way to, I told them to just pray. Just do your best, give her a hobby, put her outside the house, don't let her linger in her room so much, to the point where if she's feeding that energy to keep it going, and it might be more to the point of if they separate her to where she's away from that energy to where the energy would kind of float away. But it's just, to me, that's one I did come across. I know about that one, but I've heard of people talk about, like, the Native Americans, they could create an elemental type energy. But I think we've experienced one here on my property. But he's not harmful. He kind of comes and goes, but he don't really hurt nothing.
Yeah,
but I don't feed it.
That too. I've always taken that acceptance of elementals as kind of a hive mind creation. And everything anyone I've ever seen has always been a manifestation of 4 or 5 people getting together and obsessing over one thing. And all of a sudden that one thing is something. It's kind of like when you think about, you talk about things like, books or movies or whatever, and 5 people remember it this way, 1 remembers it this way. Well, now all of a sudden 50 people remember it the way the first 5 did, because it's a group thing now. It's
power suggestion thing.
Yeah, Berenstein Bears versus the Bernstein Bears was always a big one. Those damn books. But is it Berenstein or is it Bernstein? That's it, And everybody's like, oh, it's Berenstein. Is it? Oh shit, I don't know anymore. But that to me is what that feel of elementals is. It's always that walking on the precipice of, it might be, but it probably ain't.
I get what you're saying. It's about like the same method with the whole Mandela effect sort of idea.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know, listening to you talk about it, reminded me a little bit of that one story I heard. Basically, some people would hear stories and they would create legends, and people would go out there and start trying to see if those legends are true. And all of a sudden, it's like creating that image and protecting it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, in particular, that one bridge we have here, where we live at, that people talk, saying there's this little girl that shows up down there. If you pull up on the bridge, turn your lights out. But you go do your investigation and find out 89 to 95% of the people that has experienced this could only experience it when they've been consuming an alcoholic beverage for a long period of time. They've created that through their own minds.
Yeah.
Kind of expecting to see something because of the legend of it. The story has created its own energy.
Right, and having those inhibitor busters in place make it to where it manifests and creates. Yeah.
So now it's basically has developed to the point, the only people that claim they have seen it was inebriated when they did see it. I've been there 1,000 times and never seen nothing.
Yeah.
I know the road you're talking about. I've seen headlights.
Mm-hmm.
I've never saw. Like,
I've been told that one too.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was drinking, but the person I was with was not. So,
but you've already convinced yourself. You've already convinced yourself you're going to see this. So, a little bit of looseness, open mind with the alcohol. Yeah, it creates its own life.
Yeah.
So the question is, okay, if you stop believing in it, would it basically just disappear, or
possibly?
Oh.
That's a fact and theory that I come up with. There's no guarantee on that.
Yeah, I don't know personally, but yeah, I'm above the same mind as Stephen was saying, that if something doesn't have power, it fades. If something fades long enough, it goes away. So scientific mind speaking, yeah, I would say it would. Factual, yeah, I maybe. I mean, you run a
There's no
tire
solid hammer on that one because
yeah, you run a tire on a rim long enough, eventually the tire will wear away and the rim will be screwed up. But
yep.
I'm not going to do it and find out if that will actually happen. You know.
Yep.
so? I had a whole list of these entities, and crazy enough, we've never really encountered. Since we've started, we've really only encountered, like, I would say, I don't know. There was something weird with Seal Cook Home. I feel like there was something out there.
Yeah, it was. Along with people running through the woods, but there was something. There was something going on there too. Because you remember the door on the administration office.
Yeah.
I mean, with the roof being collapsed inwards, the door was open when we got there. And luckily we had a picture of it open. And when we come back around, the door was shut. And there's no way anybody could have got in or out, open the door, shut the door, anything without us hearing it. So, yeah, there was something there. Just, we don't know exactly what it was.
And I want to say we actually caught a picture of whatever it was. It's just we couldn't see definitively what it was. It was like a shadow figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Mr. Cowboy.
Yeah, it's always a hat man. I'm telling you.
He had a cowboy hat
until the
on. You can see the brim on it going upwards.
Up until the late 20th and early 21st century, hats were a thing.
Right.
They were. Different statuses wore different hats. I mean,
yeah, everybody wore a damn hat.
It was
men and women.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny when last part of that investigation, we were talking. We had got the name Albert come through, and you know, I was calling this thing Albert the whole time, and it took me 2 weeks to realize there was a cigarette company called Albert's Prince Cigarettes.
Never assume.
Prince Albert.
Never assume.
And of
Prince
course,
Albert, you're right.
And of course,
Prince
me
Albert
and we were smoking rolled cigarettes, so it took it that we were smoking Prince Albert.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
God, now those old jokes come back to me. Thank you very much.
Yep, the Prince Albert in a can joke.
You got Prince Albert in a can? Sure do. Well, you better let him out. He can't breathe. Yeah. Teach people how to do practical jokes again. Come on now.
I done them too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a lot harder now. They got caller ID now.
Yeah, and too many people use a cell phone, or you can't find payphones.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not true. There's one in town. Technically,
Oh, y'all still got one?
Just one.
Yeah, just one.
I think they took our last one out about a year ago.
Oh wow,
Oh wow.
that's a
But
shame.
having a brain fart.
Cerebral
That's no good.
flatline. Nee.
Clear your brains.
Like a 9 volt, it'll start up again.
um, shit, no. It's done fucking floated past me. Shit. He got in that boat and started sailing.
Payphones undid it to him. That's it.
Oh man.
You were talking about entities, and we ended up talking about Prince Albert the Can.
Right.
Go walking backwards. Come on now.
I was actually talking to a person this week because they actually enjoyed our video. They watched all the way through and they wanted to know were we going to be talking about corrupted spirits.
Corrupted spirits. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Have you ever, has either one of y'all ever encountered a corrupted spirit?
No.
Mandy?
No, I've never come across a corrupted spirit. I've read about them, at least 30 or 40 accounts of them, but I've never personally come across one.
What about you,
Yep.
Stephen?
Yeah, I did. Out there in Bruton. Well, it was actually in another state, but it was the little town of Bruton. Ain't gonna name the state. You just have to figure it out. There was this. I got 4 different names from the same spirit, and I couldn't figure it out for, it took me 20, 30 minutes before I finally figured it out. It was almost like this person passed away that could have been possessed in a sense, but it was a self-introduced possession that they brought it on and they accepted the possession and then they died with this. And I got 4 different names. I got an actual human living person name, like Stephen or Billy or Mandy. But then I got names that was like, oh, hold up. I've heard these names before, but these names were not something you would want to name your child, So I went and pulled these names up and did a little research, and them names were attached to demonic. So this person, he passed away with this thing that he wanted. So, and he was still trying to do his same little routine of trying to influence other people. So I told the old boy, I said, if it was me, I'd be packing my rags and leaving town. I wouldn't be sticking here in this house. Nope.
I mean, is there any way to separate a corrupted spirit from the demonic, or is it like too late for one?
Well,
No,
the theory is after, like I said, I've read quite a few accounts on them. The theory is that if you can connect, because evidently once the spirit leaves the mortal coil, the demons, of course, have more control. They've been there longer. Look at it that way. The theory is that if you can get to the human and give the human the power and the strength it needs, while at the same time having someone or someone's else pulling at the demons, you can separate. Has never been done successfully from what I've read.
So it's just a theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an exorcism, it will work in theory, but you don't know for sure until you
Been a lot of people die
can
from
get
it
it
too.
done. Yeah. Oh, shit ton of people die from exorcisms. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of a post-mortem stop it. Sorry, I'm getting shaken a elevator. It's kind of like a post-mortem exorcism, we want
It's
these
kind of
guys
hard
away
to
from
do.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to look at, depending on how long the human has been passed, look and how long those demons were with that human spirit before the body passed, you could be looking at, decades to millennia of damage to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And human spirit ain't that strong without the mortal coil.
Right. So I'm not going to say I I may have encountered a corrupted spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say I have.
Okay.
It kind of seemed like it. I think it was back when I was probably about right when we got started. We was I don't know. It was a bit weird. We kept getting names just coming through, like just like Stephen was saying, and the names didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yep, nope, time to pack up, time to go.
Right.
I wasn't about to stick around to find out if it was a corrupted spirit or was it a demon.
Yeah. Well, there was I wish I could remember the name of the book, and I'm sorry I can't. I wish I could. It's a psychological and psychiatric review manual. And I don't remember what it is. It was talking about the psyche and the cross of paranormal. This is not meant to be for a reason, but this is the one that come to mind, and I'm sorry. With schizophrenics, it said that the belief with the connection of the paranormal activity and the paranormal connection is so easily believed for them because it's a logical response to what they're already thinking, hearing, feeling. Evidently, your mind creating something isn't possible, but hey, a ghost is a possibility. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever works. And it also mentioned that it linked to a medical journal article for the paranormal and the I almost said cursed spirits, corrupted spirits. Whew. And the
We
corrupted
ain't going that
spirits.
far yet.
Not yet. That's later in the season. But it mentions that the mental state of the living human in the post life could be how the soul could be affected by the mental state of the living world or in the living world. And I thought it was interesting to see that even psychiatrists, psychologists are entertaining the idea that, okay, ghosts could be a thing. And yes, it could be a ghost making somebody schizophrenic. That's why the pills aren't working. That's why, this doesn't work. Or it could be making somebody, suicidal, homicidal, whatever. It's not, and it's, I'm a psychiatry student through and through because I still read all this crazy stuff.
Well, it's funny
I
that you
can't read
bring
nothing like
that
it.
up. Well, it's actually crazy that you bring that up. I came across a research paper from the University of Edinburgh, which, crazy enough, went to the University of Virginia, that they were doing a study on after-death communication and those with mental illness. And it was most of the stuff that I read that are from studies are like from the 90s. This one was from 2021.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got that link. Send me that link.
Yeah, I should still have it. Yeah.
If you do, please. I'd love to read it.
Right. But yeah, I went through and read it, and I think it's like a 3-page report, but still, they were basically saying that those with schizophrenia are more likely to have a better chance at after death communication, and if it's towards anything, if they have figured out that their schizophrenia is not the one creating it, that they're most likely to encounter their loved ones, and the same thing that most sensitive empaths are encountering. So my thing is still, I mean, I don't recommend someone with mental illness with like such as schizophrenia doing that. But what's to say that, other mediums have some form of it.
Right. And I mean, I can. Oh! Man, sorry, y'all. Hold down. Technical issues. Shark done ran into the reef again. Bad boy's traveling. What the hell?
Sir Isaac Newton, we need you.
I'm telling you, knock it off. Okay, I think it's up, right? What?
Yep,
Better?
you're right.
Okay.
There you are. Yep.
All right. I know. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, myself personally. Yeah. See, here we go. The other person came in and told me. See, I remember where I was. But myself, I can see that. Had I not connected with my gifts the way I have, oh, I'd have been bat crap crazy with a brand new suit that tied in the back. There ain't no getting around it. I mean, if you are fighting what you are seeing, what's touching every one of your senses, and you're fighting it saying, no, it ain't real, no, it ain't real, no, it ain't real, you start to question what is. And it's like, and I could see a padded room, a villa in a padded room for me, no problem, had I not accepted it.
Yep.
And I probably should have brought this up in the last podcast, but before I even talk about it, what is y'all's thoughts on 3 buildings being demolished over at Central State Hospital?
To me, the historical features of it would say no. It screamed my little historian in my head hard, no, save the building. But I can also see the aspect of it being a nuisance to the community as far as vandalism, gang activity, etc. I see that. So, I mean, I couldn't stand up and say, go to the city council and say, no, you can't do this because of, but me personally, I'd say, let's preserve it. But, I can also see the community side of it saying, it's a nuisance. It's not serving the community anymore. It's time for it to be moved on, develop something else that is going to serve the community. I can understand that because the construction side of me says, hey, we got to make room. But, the historical side of me saying, my dad's hollering in the back, man, you're hollering, no, save it. But, I mean, I wish they would open the doors to let people like us explore, but I can also see the safety thing of it where it's been there for so long and it's been sitting vacant for so long to the point now that it's probably either a health risk or it could be a physical, damage kind of thing, to people.
I agree. I mean, Yeah, the little bit of me that wants to hold on to history is like, why? But I get more. I get it. It is. Yeah, it's an eyesore. Yeah, it's a danger spot for the neighborhood, for people that for squatters, drug dealers, whatever you want to use that for. But I can also see it from the spirit side, and it it's going to cause an influx in activity and intelligible spirits for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
you're
You
going to
take
have a
you
whole
take
lot
away
of
their
neighbors.
home, they're gonna
You
be
take
going to somebody else's house to visit.
Exactly. You're going to have some neighbors that going to be real mad and real scared for quite a while. You're going to lose that neighborhood,
Yep.
or you have a chance of losing that neighborhood because people are going to be so scared of it. They're just going to pick up and leave.
Mhm.
Um, I wish they'd, you know, not look at the bottom
Give
line
it some
and
thought.
yeah, and take some real concern with it. But hey, look at it this way: they knock them down. You can stand on the edge of the property. You won't have to go inside, and you'll be able to see
Say, come over
everything,
here.
right?
Come over
Agreed.
here.
And they will come find you because you will end up with some very upset and very likely could end up with a wraith or two because of it.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
that was going to be the next entity I was going to bring up. Could that situation bring in something more dangerous, such as a wraith or a banshee,
Yep.
or
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. You disturbed the place of their rest where they felt comfortable, where they were home. Because you got to remember who was living there. That was their home until they died, and then they're buried on a property that has a number plate. They don't even have a name plate. So it's going to stir up a tornado of activity as far as the people are not considering
They
what they're
already
dealing with.
feel slighted in their death because they weren't even given the dignity to use a name. They just gave them a number. So they already been
Mm-hmm.
roaming the grounds, ticked off for that. Now you're gonna take the grounds they've been roaming and get rid of them, basically.
I don't,
So, oh yeah,
I
you
don't know
gonna get
what.
some cheese off some crackers quick.
Are they still talking about putting like government housing kind of thing there?
um, from what I remember reading, the it, I know they were talking about using like some of the buildings for housing for like I heard it was going to be like for like low income property.
It's not going to be a good measure,
No, it's going
especially
to
when
be
you had people that were there for severe mental issues. Mm, no,
Mm.
not going to be good at all.
well.
And then,
Oh, go ahead, man.
and unfortunately, low income tends to also lean more towards alcohol and drug abuse,
Mm-hmm.
inhibition blockers. So they're going to be potentially living in a building that once could have housed a stage 3 schizophrenic, and they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
drinking and potentially smoking or taking pills or shooting up or whatever that is going to make them doorways for these people to climb in.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Well, unfortunately, you got something a little bit worse than just mental illness. Well, I shouldn't. I should still consider these people mentally ill. It's just in the '80s at Central State Hospital, they had a big ramp of cannibalism.
See,
Yeah.
I don't think that is as bad as like schizophrenia and all those.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
right.
just they just hungry. They finding what they like. Get off of it.
Yeah. There's an interview with I think I don't know if she still works there or not. She used to work at the cafeteria, but
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
she used to be a nurse.
Okay.
And
Now, Carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I know. Irony. But she
No,
was
I'm
telling
thinking about when I was working construction.
oh,
We actually put a refrigerated reaper unit onto their kitchen. Go
oh yeah, and she talked about that too.
ahead.
But she was talking about in the interview that in the 80s, she got called down when she worked as a nurse. She got called down when she was working as a nurse to I think she said it was the now PAL building.
Okay.
And there was a situation where somebody was trying to eat someone, and when she got down there, the guy was midway through.
Oh,
And while she was waiting for the guards to do something, she actually got grabbed.
Mm.
And that person was about to cannibalize her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was able to get away thanks to, technology at the time. Didn't have doors, you had bars.
Right.
and they held it against him. And, he was just at the buffet going crowd. He's just looking for everything on the menu.
You just feed, no
So-
offense. You feed somebody the wrong thing, they're gonna go crazy when they get the right one. Yeah, you feed a meat eater vegetarian for a week. See what happens on Sunday. Okay.
But
Poor chicken ain't got a chance.
That's right. All right, there's a special place in hell for us right now.
Back to hell! You hear me? I'm sending you back to hell! Back?
Wait.
Okay.
but as someone who, when I was I was actually at Central State Hospital before they closed, and I've been cleared. I'm not crazy.
Well,
Of course, I was
Sure.
you just proved it. You just buffaloed them. We know you better than that. Go ahead, keep going.
I got dropped a few times in my head.
There you go.
Pudding!
But I was actually at the PAL building my first night,
Okay.
and by then it was a lot more safer. But I was in there with a guy who he had a problem with I'm trying to find the word for it. Excessive masturbation.
Okay.
But yeah, I was there for a night, and I quickly found out when I got transferred over to the juvenile place that there was people there that were there for a good fucking reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That happens in mental hospitals. Yeah.
I actually became friends with a girl who threw boiling hot water on her stepfather while he slept.
Okay.
And see, as bad as that situation was, why she was there, why she got sent there, we don't know the backstory.
Yeah. You don't
There might
know
have
what
been a
caused it.
true reason why she snapped that made her want to do this. So, I mean, I don't condone it. I don't say, yeah, that's what she should have done. He got his just dessert. But, we don't know. Don't hold it against her just because what she got put there for.
Yeah.
I'll make sure our viewers understand this too,
Oh yeah.
Context.
And when I was younger, I had a friend of mine. She had a mental break because she decided to sharpen her mother's utensils in her older brother's chest.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. A lot of them. And nobody understood what happened. This is why they wrote it off to a mental break. when she finally came around to talking and told everybody what had happened, some of us were a little bit more understanding.
Right.
So it wasn't a mental break, it was finally self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one of those things. And, unfortunately, that young lady, we don't know why she decided to give stepdad a good hot bath, but evidently he was unclean and needed it. So,
Right. Well, there reason I kind of bring up Central State. So crazy enough, when I went after I got out of Central State, the person I knew another little boy there. I actually ended up going to school with him. He moved to my town and went to the same school as me. We ended up having the same class together. He was there for unaliving a puppy. But when I was in there with him, he would talk about seeing certain people in the hospital, and they weren't right. Apparently, they were dressed differently than us. You know, I mean, at the time we were wearing like these little like beige uniforms, and what he was describing was people wearing this like almost like inmates from like a chain gang.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, but I never saw anything like that. But later on, when I got older, I did some background history and found out, yeah, there was actually at one point Georgia Correction actually started putting inmates at the mental institution due to overcrowding.
Okay. Yeah, that would account for that.
Where were we?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Going back towards the wraith, Mandy, can you explain what a wraith is?
Simply stated, a wraith is more often than not a spirit that started out as intelligible or intelligent spirit, an interactive spirit, if you would, and has either been here too long or someone has tried to exorcise and failed, or someone has really pissed them off and they have just broken down and cracked, if you will, through the time, to the point that they still have the ability to communicate and to everything, but they no longer have the ability to communicate peacefully.
Everybody becomes the enemy.
Yeah.
More or less.
Even their own family. Yeah.
I got you.
That's what I see too. I think I read the same thing that she's read on that, because that's basically they broke it down to is being it could be just a normal happy go. It could be grandma that just never done anything wrong in life, and when she passed away, somebody did something to her as a spirit, and they went about the wrong way and they failed. And grandma's like, okay, you want to see what this Sony is about? I'm going to show you.
Well, it's funny you said that.
And
Go ahead.
Everyone I've come across one, and I tried my best to communicate with it, and it wasn't having it. So I said, okay, goodbye. Have a good one. Enjoy your eternity, because I'm not sticking around with this.
Yeah, many times as I've come across raves, I've never managed to do anything more than, amp up the rage and get them to attack me so I can put them away, if you will. Block them off somewhere. But it's funny that you said you and I must have read the same article, because mine isn't actually from reading about them. I had experience, and I got an old lady that likes to come visit me that I trained under that taught me all this stuff. So it's like, well, hell, at least I know it wasn't,
It's also an educational background on it because I've read it online.
Okay. Well, I think that's nice to know it can be found in its truth. There you go. 30 years later.
There you go.
See, it wasn't until that night we did that one investigation at that church that I'd never heard of a wraith.
Yeah, I remember you asking, "What's a wraith?"
I had.
And I almost confused it with a banshee because I've heard of banshees.
Oh no.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Now, banshees
Yeah.
are just crazy with too much ability. They're just out to, make noise, make a ruckus, and screw up your day. Wraiths are out to get you.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna teach.
They'll try
They're
their
gonna
best
teach
to
you a
hurt you.
lesson. Oh yeah, they want to hurt you.
Yep.
They want to teach you a lesson. And yeah, banshees are the party
Mhm.
girl with too much tequila. Wraiths are the party girl that mixed the tequila and the beer. You don't do that.
So the whole story
And
is
then found a shotgun to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
so the legends about banshees saying that they're out to go find witches and suck their souls out of their body. That all that's not real.
No.
No, because the process of removing a soul from a body takes something far beyond the abilities of a spirit or even a demon for that matter. The only way
You
your
have to
spirit
scare
can,
somebody so bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only way for you to leave your soul to leave your body is for you to have it leave.
To willing to give it up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Consent. We're back to consent, Stephen.
That's why I always say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. You'd have to more or less scare a person so bad that they lose control of holding on to it. And then it felt like it has no option but give into whatever's trying to take its soul.
Yeah.
For it to be extracted. I've never experienced anybody ever losing their soul.
That thing would have to be the safe option. And if you think of what
would be the only option.
Right. Yeah. Well, you could stay here, this thing that's scaring the bejeebas out of you, and deal with it, or you can go with this thing which doesn't seem as scary as this thing. So I'll go over here. Forget that it's pulling me out of my body. Forget that I'm, lending it over to it or giving it over to it. Forget all that. This is safer than that. Got to go by. That's if you think about modern times and where we sit as humans, and with the technology we have and the access to things we have, we are so desensitized on so many levels that, in all honesty, if something were to show up that 100 years ago would have scared somebody to death, even a 120-year-old man's going to look at it and go, get the hell out of here. It's not going to be 120-year-old man with one heart valve left. You can walk up and say
Right.
boo to him, and it's going to be, because of the way we are, to think that a banshee or something to that like is going to step in and steal your soul from you without your permission. No. It'll never happen. Even the theory of how, back in the 17th century, during the witch trials, you had the don't let a witch's cat into your house with a newborn baby because the cat will steal the baby's soul while it sleeps. Even an infant, even a newborn, has free will. Your soul cannot leave your body without your choosing it. And it's just Sorry, witch trials just cranked my butt. Sorry.
I'm
But some of the theories that people come with, to me, just it blows my mind. Just some of these crazy off the wall theories nowadays. Now that we have the knowledge to read things and understand, or even go online and listen to a video of somebody that has studied it, and understands it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, them theories come across the board like that. It's just kind of like maybe you go. Some people believe anything,
That's when we try to remember there are still flat worlders.
Yeah, there he is.
Mm-hmm. There are still flat worlders.
And when I meet him, I'm like, I don't want to go across that road again because that was weird.
Here's a cell phone. Take a left. Stay straight. When you fall off, give me a call.
Yeah, it's you saying that it's like these teenagers I've seen. They I forget where they were. I think they were in like British Columbia and Canada or something. Anyways, they were out looking for Wendigos.
Okay.
And I'm like, whatever, do what you're gonna do. It's all you. But they came across a dog and they're like, oh, maybe that's the Wendigo. And it's like, Wendigos don't shapeshift.
Somebody has seen Supernatural 12 too many times.
Oh, Lordy.
Mm.
Yeah, some people, you can clearly tell that some people just do not do the research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's one that if you're going to get into the paranormal, if you're going to take your mind and your life at risk and go and play in the dark with God knows what, do some research. And I'm not talking something supported by Hollywood or Penguin Books. Do some real research.
Yeah, let's don't pull off the shelf. Paranormal for dummies.
Ghost hunting for dummies. Yeah, let's not do that. I mean, there are credible people out there. There are, people that have attacked the paranormal on a research, scientific, and historical level. Find them.
Mm-hmm.
Ed and Lorraine Warren are my favorites. I got to meet Lorraine. I got to meet Lorraine and her son once. And beautiful woman, sweet as hell. She had a nice little crooked sense of humor about her. I loved it. But talking to her whole thing was, if you do something, if you're looking at something and it makes you question, follow that question.
Yep.
Does not matter what it is. You turn on your camera and you think there's a person, you think you see a person standing behind you. Hold on, what was that? Turn around.
Right.
Start filming, start talking. And okay, so what was that? Was that, some kind of dust bunny? That was a dust bunny. You got the Easter bunny behind you. But was it dust? Was it this light play? Was it traffic? Who knows? And just due diligence. These are my two favorite words, I swear, with paranormal, is due diligence. From everything from your research and education all the way through to the practice of going out. Always make sure that you find that you're comfortable with it before you take that next step. Don't just follow, hey, we got some buddies that are going to go out to the bridge and see if we can get this. Hold on. Red flag. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about what's going on. Tell me about it first. That's where I'm going to be.
Yep.
What are you talking about? Tell me about it first.
Yep.
And then if I have any more red flags, okay, more questions. If I don't, okay, let's go. And be prepared for questions on the way. That's I just,
Yep.
yeah, learn.
This comes down
Educate.
to the same thing to me as like a parent teaching a yoga when you're walking toward traffic. You're walking down the sidewalk, you got to cross the street. Look both ways before you cross. Same thing in this. Before you jump into what you want to go do, look this way, look that way. Make sure you know everything between you and where you're going.
Yep.
Like she said, research.
Mm-hmm.
Read a book. It don't hurt you. It give you a headache if you read too much. But, stop, comprehend what you read, and move along. It helps you. When you get to where you're going, then you know what to expect. You know what you're looking for. You open your mind. You start looking. You start watching for the motions. You start seeing what's happening. That helps you. If you don't, when you try to cross to get to where you're going to get run over by a Mack truck. You never know what's happening out there.
And please, dear
I don't want to be in
God.
that Mack truck when you step out in front of me.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And if you're watching something that has a director, an executive producer, and an assistant producer attached, it's probably not necessarily the gospel. So don't listen to that too much, will you?
Right. Take it as entertainment and enjoy what you're watching. But before you do this, make sure you understand what you're getting into.
Yeah. Yeah, your last name is not Winchester. Remember that. But hell, if you watch that show, but wait a minute, even if you, yeah, right. Oh, I'd love to get into that house again. But even if you watch that show, and okay, yeah, Dean was a little flaky, but they did their research, if nothing else.
Yep, every time. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though some of the stuff that they show on that show, it's barely, accurate. But it's still the same process. You do the research, you scout it out, you do your preliminary, and you jump in the deep end.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Give yourself time. Don't rush it. They're not going nowhere. They've been there a lot longer than we have.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're gonna be here a lot longer too.
And you always have an exit plan.
Yes.
Yep. Always.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing we've encountered, which is demonic. Demonic entities. More. I've only faced one, or I guess two if you count doppelgangers.
Yeah, they do. So, I wish I could say I've only faced two.
Yeah, me too. I've come across several.
Hell, if I back up to when it was only two, I'm going.
Because I wouldn't look for them.
Oh, never. No. Well, hold on. I can't say that. I did actually go looking for one, but I was much older. I
wasn't looking. I wasn't even looking for him.
Yeah. No, they find you. Ready or not, here we come.
Yep. And most times they look for you. They try to look for you when you're at your weakest strength.
Yeah. Find you at your weakest, or when you're the most confused or perplexed.
Yeah, the most vulnerable.
Crazy enough, that was actually, that would make sense, because I was very confused about myself.
That's it. That's what he needed. That was the inlet. Now, as I said before that, to remember that demons are non-human. Just because something possesses a dark energy or a dark feel or an evil feeling or sense to them, or even says they are, does not mean that it's a demon. And just because someone's beliefs or someone's practices or someone's teachings say that something is demonic because it's not of this realm or it's not of this school of education, or it's not of this school of belief, does not make it demonic. The only thing that makes it demonic is being non-human.
And I mean, usually, I mean, you hear most of the stories about the demons, and it's going back to what you said. Usually, the person's confused, or if they're weakest, or something about them is there's a chink in the armor, and they just found it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're always looking for that. I mean, people don't understand that. That's something in that realm they're always looking for. If they can catch you at that moment, that's when they come to try to talk to you. That's when they want to try to attack. That's when they want to try to move in to scare you. That's when you have to think that they're your friend at the first moments, when you're, and it's the right idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that, But there again, it could be, bam, here it is, right in your face kind of thing.
Yeah, like I mean, they've got nothing but time. Remember it that way. You got, you got 100 years if you're lucky. If you want to think of it that way, you got 100 years. They got.
You've always got to keep yourself strong. You can't never give up. Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And if you're in a situation and you think you're up against something, you're starting to feel doubt. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
Now
and when you hear that little whisper, that's when you say nope.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Nope. Walk away. Absolutely.
Now I've seen this a million times. There's actually a big trend right now where people will get knocks on the door, and they'll open it, and it's like, okay, are y'all? Did y'all's parents not tell y'all about the peephole, about the window? Yeah.
Right.
You know what to do. Don't answer the door.
Right.
An open door.
I mean, that'll work with spirit too. You hear something knocking, go stick your head into the window spot. See if you see anything. Yeah. If you see something,
don't be like me.
Don't walk out outside and say, "All right, bring it, damn it!" No, don't do that.
But I don't do it without my armor, though. I go out with my arm. I'm armed. Yeah, I keep myself protected. But just like the other day here at the house, I come in here for a minute and I walked out. Well, when I walk out because of the animals in the house and the other grandkids are here, I don't leave my room open. I always shut my door behind me. I don't want the cats in here. I sneeze enough the way it is. So I leave this room is my sanctuary. This is me. This is my room. So I always latch that door when I go out. Well, she comes into the hallway vacuuming, and all of a sudden she heard a click. She turns to look. My door just starts creeping open. Well, me, da-da-da. I jump out my chair and I come in here like, okay, what's up? This is my house. You're not just open windows and doors around here without my consent.
That's it.
It's like something I saw the other day. Forget being calm. It's time to drink mead, raid villages, and go down fighting and go to Valhalla.
That's right. That's right. Time to murder, raid.
Yeah, you always got to make sure.
Murder, raid, and
pillage.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but that's always keep your mind. Especially when you want to do this, you want to do what we do, going out. Yeah, we're excited about going, but we always keep that closed. No, you're not touching. You're not going to enter my body unless I know there's no anybody unless to me anymore. It's just like, no, if you want to talk to this. I can hear you through here because, unlike some people, I don't have that strong ability that I can hear the whispers, so sometimes I need a little support, so my little box over here helps me out, but I don't leave myself open to it.
Right.
I don't, even when I'm sick, I keep myself locked up. No, not today.
No, I mean, and that's, you protect yourself when you go on any other kind of leaving the house. you know, or any other trip, if you will. You protect yourself in some way. This trip that you go on for this hunt is the same thing. You have to protect yourself. Okay. If you're one of those people, you put a gun on your side in case you come across people who want to give you trouble. You put your seatbelt on when you're in the car traveling. You got to protect your soul, your spiritual side, as much as you would your
Same way.
physical side.
Yep.
And even though I practice a different religion, I mean, it doesn't exempt me. They still exist, so I have to follow the same practices to make sure that my will is strong and that my resolve is stronger.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of what religion or spiritual path you follow, there is something that will protect you, that you will find fits you to make you feel protected and secure. You know, even the strongest of atheists have gone out and still protect themselves. So, to me, it's just logic. You know, even if you don't believe in a higher power or an almighty being, yeah, what can it hurt? You know.
Well, it's like my way I describe is like if you're a firefighter and that's what you want to do, you're not going to jump out of that fire truck in your BBDs and run into a fire. You're going to put on your fire protection uniform to protect you from the fire, the heat, the gases. You're going to be prepared. Same thing here.
Yeah.
When you walk out the door and you're going on a ghost hunt, make sure you got yourself locked up. Nope.
That's it.
Nothing's coming home with me. When I come back to the house, it's just going to be me walking in that door.
That's it. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, Aaron brought up a good point. He's like, it could be, most of the time, even if it's not like an object, like most of us, I think Daddy usually carries a crystal, his cross. Me, I carry Thor's hammer and some other things on me, and all that. And sometimes it could also be, you may have a guardian watching over you. It could be a family member. It could be something just watching over you, or just showing off your gun there.
Yep.
Well, I carry my pentagram. I carry my crystals. I also wear one of my mother's rings. I wear my sister's earrings. I've got everybody that I know will protect me with me. Hell, I even got, something of my dad's I carry with me now. Hey, I'm making sure I'm loaded for bear. Come on.
There you go. There you go.
That's it. So it's just, like I said, it's just logic and common sense. You wouldn't, jump into a fiery pit with, wearing kerosene panties. So why in the world would you go out unprotected?
I like that.
Well, I mean that unless y'all got any other entities that y'all have encountered, that's all I had running through my forgetting.
Not really. I mean, no, I think you covered everything I had thought of and talked about.
I should probably rephrase that. Anything that's ghostly entity, not cryptid.
Yeah, we're not doing cryptids.
Actually, I should probably bring that up. Shifters.
Orbs.
Yes, let's go over orbs first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
Call me. I was coughing. Sorry.
No. I thought Mandy was gonna
Go ahead, Billy.
give her explanation.
I thought
Okay,
you
go
were
ahead,
gonna.
Mandy.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm getting that green glitch across my camera right now. Oh, there goes camera down.
Damn gravity. Oh, come here, Stanley. Turn back on. Hey. All right, are we up and
There
running
you go.
again? Pain in the ass thing.
You are
Okay.
here.
Oh boy, I'll teach you. Okay, yeah. One of the things that most people I find have the most confusion over, funny enough, is orbs.
Mhm.
Now, in personal experience, orbs can be anything from something the size of your pinky nail to a damn near full body apparition. Usually they start out, brighter in the center and dissipate outward. They don't generally take form, but they will work their way that way. The catch is with orbs that people find their most confusion on is that every daggum thing that catches the light is an orb. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. If it's zigzagging around, take a close look at it. You may just have caught a bug. If it's hovering in one place, take a real good look at it. You may just have a spider sitting there, It's
Yep.
I tell people, when you have an orb, pay attention to what color it is. And most people are like, well, it's an orb. It's going to be white or blue or silver. No, it's not. And those colors mean something. I have seen black orbs. Of course, everyone's like, well, the first thing you think of is, how do you see a black orb? It looks a little bit like a
You see the ring.
solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. I'm sorry, a lunar eclipse. You can see the ring of light, but it's all dark, and it's not a bad thing. It's just, pay attention to what you're seeing. When you get something, okay, here I'm gonna sidebar for a half a beat in paranormal investigation. When you get something, when you get a name, when you get a color, when you get a number, when you get an animal, whatever you get, write it down, remember it, take a picture of it, make sure you mention it if you're only audio recording, get a video camera on it if you can, whatever. But whatever you do, don't harp on it. Because just because they say Abby and there happens to be somebody in the group named Abby, doesn't mean that's what they're talking about. Keep them talking, not necessarily, oh, are you talking to this one over here? Yeah, she's right here listening. No. Who's Abby? Feed the question.
Right.
Okay, sorry, sidebar. Craziness. Craziness is over. See, this is why the group jacket would fit. But, it's kind of the same thing with orbs. Because you see the orb, and if you don't notice that, okay, we're standing in a room that has, say it has a street light outside that has kind of that yellow hue to it. But the orb you're looking at is, black, or, could be a brown or a green. That does not correlate to the white flashlight you have in your hand or the yellow light outside. It doesn't work. So pay attention. We saw that. Okay.
Yep.
But if you're standing in there and you've got 8 or 9 orbs going around and there's a red exit sign above the door that's shining just enough red light to make them all look red, that does not mean you have something. It just means somebody needs to dust more often.
Exactly.
So
always check your environment. If it's a dusty situation, like the dust on the floor, old house, or you're in a modern home like today's house, and you got central heat and air. If you see an orb shoot up past your camera, see where the vent's at. It might be going just a simple little dust bunny heading to the return. Never can tell.
Exactly.
But like she said, If you're taking video or you're taking a picture and an orb is sitting right there, study it, look at it, see what you see on your phone, pull it up, look at the inner scopes of the orb, see if it's like she said, pink, blue. I've seen green. I've seen a light shade of green orb. They're rare, but I have seen them.
Yep.
But if you see that, communicate, start talking. See it most, because sometimes that spirit could be right there hovering close by. It could be sitting there waiting for you to react to it.
Just don't give it answers.
But don't
ask it questions.
Yep. Ask questions. Yep. Don't feed it. Ask it.
Yeah.
I want to say one time I got freaked out with the orb was actually at your house, Bob. And it still drives me nuts that Kim still says, "Oh, she doesn't believe," and it's like, okay, you literally saw a big blinding light of a ball that floated down the hallway and went into your cave.
Yep.
Crazy enough is
she's seen it with her own eyes, but yet she don't believe.
Camera never picked it up.
Well, I mean,
but we both saw it.
Oh, really? Didn't pick it
Oh
up?
God,
Wow.
that'll frustrate the
That's
heck out of you. That would have ticked me up. I'd have screamed at everything I thought was in there. How dare you?
I wish I had more cameras.
She even seen the shadow coming through the laser grid going to my man cave. She woke up and told me about the face that woke her up from a dead sleep, and she opens her eyes and there's a face right there in her face.
Yeah, she told me about that.
She's told me about the impression sitting on the bed. The impression sitting on the bed and waking her up where she thinks it's me, and I'm still sitting in the living room.
Yeah.
But yet, you ask her, and she's like, "Well, I'm still on the fence about it." How tall is this fence, and how long is it going to take you to get over the top to realize things do happen? The bumps in the night are not always just a bump. It's something going on that's trying to get your attention.
Sweetheart, the Great Wall of China ain't that tall.
Yeah, there's a clear line.
Exactly.
There's a clear difference between skepticism and denial.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's afraid if she believes, it's going to put her in a different category of her friends. I think that's my opinion. She's afraid if she believes, her family's going to think different of her.
One of us. One of us.
Well, you know what?
Oh, Lordy.
If it puts her in a different category of her family, then perhaps her family needs to think better of themselves.
I've always said that. But sometimes your family needs to step back and look at the picture of where they live at, too. I mean, it's not always you. It could be them, too.
Yeah. That's it.
Sometimes when it comes
I don't worry about what people think of me. I am me.
That's it.
I mean, everyone's got their own journey. I mean, how they get to their own conclusions, their stuff. But
and you know what? There ain't nobody out there that's gonna tell me anything I don't already know about myself, and will probably agree to. So.
But going back towards the orb thing, I think the coolest one I've actually seen, I think it was actually recorded, and it was actually confirmed that it was real, was the Winchester House. It's in California, I think, isn't it? The red orb flying into a room came up right up to the ghost hunters and just exploded and then disappeared.
Yeah.
That had to be the most definitive evidence of orb activity I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, an orb is a spirit. It is an intelligible or interactive spirit. It's just debunking what you're looking at is the difference of what you need to consider. And when something like that happens, there ain't no debunking. You just try not to make a mess in your drawers.
Right. Well, it makes you think. Oh, Are you messing with the microphone?
Something's moving it. I got my hand over here.
Yeah, I heard the tapping.
She's just saying hi.
Welcome
We'll be
aboard.
over
We're recording. Sit down, mind your business, and wait your turn.
Everybody's like, "You're a chain smoker." I'm not. No, I'm trying to create enough smoke in here that you can see me walk past.
That's right.
I
And my
swear,
camera's done that green glitch 3 or 4 times already.
I'm gonna have a shirt made one day about the blue cigarette.
Yep. I got the alien cigarette.
So, I mean, I've heard stories about shifters. I mean, I've heard they can be dangerous. Most of the time, most stories I've heard, they're parasites.
Mm-hmm.
They turn into what you fear the most and try to feed off your fear.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me, I kind of think that's what Ashley was dealing with at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though she's technically still experiencing it in a way, even though it's outside.
It's just
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs to stay outside. But I mean, as far as I know about them, they're almost demonic. They're like the lowest form of demonic. They're the waste of the hell.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. If you look at the fact that, I mean, their goal is
I can see it that way.
Yeah, I mean, their goal is just to accumulate and belittle, if you will. I mean, look at a doppelganger for that matter. It's the same thing. You know, they're specific shapeshifters, but they're still shapeshifters. And
And they
their
grow
whole
from your
goal,
fear. If you
yeah,
fear.
that's it. And they gather that, and they gather your energy from your fear. They get, they are there to accumulate and collect, nothing more.
I think the only difference with ain't the doppelganger's final goal like to basically take over you or your essence.
Try.
Dude, doppelgangers of final destination, if you will, is to survive on this plane without a host. To do that, they remove your soul and take your place. That's possession.
Mm-hmm.
That's your possessed humans.
So, do they still follow the same rules of consent, or does the legend of you see them 3 times and
Well, I ain't never met
No.
anybody that's lost a soul when they seen their doppelganger 3 times.
true?
I mean, I know people
What
that
I've read on,
have,
I was going to say, the only thing I've read about doppelgangers is like she said, if they make contact with you and you got that fear, they will take over. They'll come into you because you cracked. You let your armor crack. You showed it fear.
Yeah.
And it will come in. But in the event, if it would, it's easy to, extricate them. If your will is strong enough to push them out, they've got to go.
Oh yeah.
But in the event you don't and you die, it leaves your body, it leaves your soul. It separates and goes find somebody else to terrorize. That's their job. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of the legends are wonderful. Like, the Bloody Mary one. How many kids haven't tried that growing up? All right,
Yeah.
I got more mad
I did.
at 10 years old. I never got so mad in my life at 10 years old, standing in my mama's bathroom mirror with no lights on, the door shut, calling for this Bloody Mary bimbo, and she ain't never show up. I was so let down and so mad at 10 years old.
Split it up.
Just upset me.
That reminds me. Have y'all heard of the new ones like Charlie Charlie and?
Get off the table.
Oh no, that's a new one I haven't heard. No.
Yeah, I heard
Live.
about it.
And some of these YouTubers I've seen, they're trying to make it seem like a lot of it it can be explained, a fan blowing whatever, but
Right.
it comes down to the same method, the Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
It's just childhood stuff. Yeah, it's make you angry.
It's-
because nothing happens.
All right.
Yeah, it's all comes down to mental perception.
Are you done with the
If you're expecting to see something, your mind can create it, But if you're like,
Oh, absolutely.
let's see if it works, and you keep yourself closed, like Mandy's talking about, you keep yourself closed, like, okay, if I see it, I ain't going to let it get me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
90% chance you're probably not going to see nothing.
Yeah.
Now, if your house is haunted to begin with, then that ain't Bloody Mary. That's someone.
Well, you're asking for trouble. That's
If
Charlie
you
Chaplin.
know for yeah, right. If you know for a fact your house is haunted, and you step into your house and say, "Here I am, baby, take me as I am," you deserve what you
You're
get.
asking for it.
You deserve what you get. There is no sidestepping that, because you not only opened the door, but you also spun the disco ball, man. They are coming.
Mhm.
And you've let
Yep.
down your guard. They are coming for you.
Yeah, it's like one of the games
From every
like,
angle.
Yeah.
One of the games is called I think the Midnight Man game, which is like you're playing hide and seek with the Midnight Man,
Okay.
and
I never played that.
Midnight Man's supposed to be like this demonic entity, and you have so much time to go hide, and if he finds you, he takes your soul.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't play it, but I mean, hey, go for it.
Would I play a video game based on it? Sure. Would I go into a house that I know has a malevolent spirit and say, "Take your rent, bitch," and run like hell? No. No, I'm not gonna
No.
play a tag with a
No.
malevolent spirit.
No. It's called common sense.
Yeah.
Use your own perceptions of saying, I ain't doing that because there's a likely chance I'm going to lose the game of tag.
Right. No. No. Yeah, just like I wouldn't go out and play, I wouldn't play chicken with a Peterbilt on a Schwinn, No.
Thank you.
It's that
That was
same
perfect.
level, Go do that. Hi.
Well, I think that's about covered it.
Okay.
Next week, next episode that we're going to be doing is going to involve Daddy and Ashley, and it's gonna be over TikTok videos of the paranormal and how accurate are they?
Okay. That sounds
So,
good.
yeah,
All right.
thank you, Mandy, for showing up,
No problem. Anytime.
and thank you, Stephen, for showing up.
Y'all have fun. I can't wait to see that
Always
next
here.
one.
Always here.
All right.